There we are. We are notifying viewers that I am live. That's cool. Wonder how many viewers are awake this hour. Kind of neat about social media, since it's a worldwide platform. Guess just because it's 5 o'clock where I'm at now doesn't mean it's 5 o'clock where potential viewers might be living. You know what I mean? Hello, TCAS. Hello, Homemaking with PhD. Hello, Grace. Hello, Paul. Hello, John. Hello, Leah, Santa, Road, User, Rusley, Austin. Homemade making with PhD like my life. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hello, Hershey. Hello, Amanda D, Marie, User, Chip, Austin. I'm going to drink a little water here. Trying to inspire us all to instill good habits. Hey, somebody just sent me something. Homemaking with PhD just sent a heart me. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Santa Cruzing says he stayed in an extended stay for 2 months for work. He recognizes that room anywhere. Yes, where I am. This is my room. This is my room. I'll have people hop on from time to time going, what are you doing? You're staying in a hotel. It's funny that anybody would judge another person really at all without ever having walked in their shoes. And I think it's important to establish oneself at some level, have some sort of housing structure, have some sort of income generating job sort of thing. And I've got both of those boxes checked and I'm doing okay. Not my final destination, I promise you that, but it's working for right now, as is the job I'm doing. So it feels good to have your baseline created. And for me, my baseline has cable, air conditioning, and no utilities, so that's not too bad. But anyway, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. You're hearing gurgling in the background. It's distracting me. It's almost calling me. It's the sound of my coffee finishing up its brewing cycle. I stole a cup early, but I've yet to have any. But we'll get to this in a moment. Again, it is, what day did I say it was? Did I say it was September 9th? I don't know, but I do know it is Monday morning, and it is about 5:13 a.m. my time. Happy Monday to you. Coffee with Ken's a show I've done for quite some time. It is a show about me talking and sharing some experiences, sharing some feelings, sharing the ups and downs that life sometimes sends us our way. Good morning, Frozen Land. But for those that have been watching a while, you know. Oh, do you know? It's more than that. It's also a show. I have a great voice for TV or radio. I've heard that before. I hear that a lot. Thank you. Thank you. You know, maybe I have a great voice for TV, radio, or this talk show. I would think. I think some of the appeal, I post a lot of shorts and reels and TikToks. I think some people find my voice inflection or my voice or my content to be relaxing or calming and almost sleep inducing. And I take that as a compliment. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, Tracy. Um, yeah. So whatever you, whatever purpose, whatever value one finds from my uh, content, I appreciate that. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking or hypnotizing you with my melodic speech inflection or my calming voice. For those that have been watching a while, you know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I have a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am so excited to have my first sip at this very early hour for me. I mean, not that early hour. I mean, I generally wake up early. But I woke up at 4 this morning. So that was very early. Either way, I'm excited to have my first sip. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Oh. First of all, the coffee's delicious. Second of all, it's the pumpkin spice. But third of all, I had a little side story because it's pretty hot. Last night after I got home a little early. I worked last night. And I got home about 8:15. I had some frozen burritos in my freezer. And I microwaved them up because they are tasty. I will tell you what, they are tasty. But I microwaved them up. And as is my habit, I tend to be a pretty quick eater and bite into what I am eating without throwing caution to the wind and hoping for the best. And sometimes I'll burn my mouth. And I burned my mouth last night. I got some sore spots on the roof of my mouth from the formerly frozen, now very hot burritos that I'm eating. And having that delicious pumpkin spice pool in my mouth and then go down the throat, as tasty as it was, reminded me of the sore spots in my mouth. So let's try it again. Being ready for the sore spots and just going for the flavor that is the coffee. There we go. There we go. I'm going to have another sip. Tell you, I got a bunch of bags of coffee behind me. I think pumpkin spice might be my favorite. And I don't know if it's just because it's seasonal or if I could drink it 365 days out of the year. But it was my favorite today. And it's what I wanted to drink. And as much as I love the cinnamon dolce or any of the other flavors I might have, pumpkin spice is really good. Jordan Ivy, hello. I bet you can endorse or make a coffee. Hello, RJ. What is my favorite Malcolm X quote? Honestly, can't think of one Malcolm X quote. I mean, there may have been some words he spoke that I do know, but I cannot attribute them to Malcolm X. Jordan Ivy says they'd buy Ken coffee. I've had coffee companies reach out to me, wholesalers, saying, hey, we'd put your name on a coffee. Yeah. They better make it pumpkin spice, or at least they better have some pumpkin spice. I'd have fun making the flavors. I would have fun making the flavors and doing the tasters. Me just sitting around going, oh, that's nice. But I'd want somebody there with me. I'd want somebody there with me sharing the experience. I met a barista the other day, and she seemed to have a true passion for coffee and a way deeper understanding to the flavors than I do. I was at Pete's Coffee a week or two ago, and I usually go to Starbucks, but the first day I was there, they had what they call their Guatemalan blend. And she started singing its praises and said how fortunate I was to have walked into the store today while they're brewing their Guatemalan blend because it was her favorite. And it was a nice cup of coffee. But I was more taken by her passion for the product than the coffee itself. So to sit around all day, I might need a partner in crime that would taste the coffees with me. And I cannot think of a better person than this barista that works at Pete's Coffee because she knows her stuff. Frozen Land says pumpkin spice is tier 1. Oh, RJ, it's pumpkin spice. RJ also says Kona blends from Hawaii are nice. I don't know. I mean, I like RJ, and he does watchers, but I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about when it comes to coffee. I just don't. Morning Joe. What's that all about? What's my favorite way to drink it? Black or with creamer? I'm drinking it black right now. I drink it black at home. Hello, Sherry McDaniel. Sherry McDaniel, you got to stop talking about that. Sherry McDaniel works for an ophthalmologist. She could be an ophthalmologist, but I almost don't think she is. And what she does is travels around injecting eyeballs, and I don't know what that means, and I don't like the sound of it, but she's off to do it today. And that's all I got about that. Ryan Smith says I'm up early. I am up early, Ryan. I worked last night. I worked last night and got off. I mean, I started yesterday at about noon and got off, I don't know, about 8 o'clock. I work as a waiter in a fairly nice restaurant in Naperville, Illinois, where I live. And had a good day. Got home a little earlier than I expected. Usually when I wait tables, I'm there till, I don't know, 10, 11. But I got home at 8, had my frozen burritos, burnt the top of my mouth, as I've told you. Ooh. And I don't know, fell asleep pretty early. I was planning to watch a movie. I was flipping through some channels. Armageddon was on for the 150th time, and I go, I don't know. Sometimes I really like this movie. Today, not so much. So I turned it off and tried to edit a video, started getting sleepy, and drifted off probably by 9:30. Got in some deliciously wonderful deep sleep, but woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Thought about going back to bed, laid there for a while. Listened to some positive affirmations, hoping they'd do the trick. After about 45 minutes or so, I go, what the heck? Let's get up. Let's get my coffee started. Let's start my day. You know, at this early hour, I can always go back to bed after I'm done talking and get so much accomplished. But let's get up and let's get started. And I did. I brewed my coffee. And now enjoying it. I really am. Kind of fun doing my show super early sometimes. Kind of a mellower tone. No great things to accomplish before 6 a.m. But even small accomplishments are important. Doing my show, again, I wait tables, but, you know, I'm 56 years old. I'm not going to be waiting tables forever. Ryan Smith says he can't decide if he'll stay up or go back to sleep. It's 4:23 here in Colorado, where Ryan Smith's apparently from. Well, the nice thing is, Ryan, you don't have to decide right now. You know, you could just enjoy being up right now. Maybe in an hour, go back to sleep. That's maybe the way I'm going to play it. Or I might get a burst of enthusiasm and clean my extended stay apartment and shower and go to the gym and work out and go to coffee and edit videos and do everything else I can think of doing on a Monday when I work later tonight. But what I do know I'm going to do is drink some coffee. So let's have a little more. RJ said coffee is the number one or number two selling traded commodity in the world behind oil. Huh. You throw out statistics like that, I might be a little more interested in putting my name on a bag of coffee after all. Behind oil, huh? Uh, uh. Maybe there's money to be had in this whole coffee business. Frozen Landers said, I only slept for 3 hours and been up for the past 45 minutes or so, and my head is starting to hurt. Well, Frozen Lander, I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know what to tell you about that. I would ask you if you drank alcohol last night. I kind of got on a sobriety high horse yesterday. Huh. Not really. I don't care. But I think alcohol causes a lot more problems than it fixes. And, yeah. I mean, the one problem I know I don't have is hangovers anymore. Oh, yeah, alcohol affected my sleep. I don't think you go into the deep sleep when you drink. I don't think you go into deep sleep. I don't think you have dreams literally or figuratively when you drink alcohol. I know I didn't. I'd wake up, I'd toss and turn, I'd wake up and feel hot or have to go to the bathroom or feel anxious or would read books on sleep issues and take sleeping pills and take melatonin and do all these things to try and fix my sleeping issues. And again, I have an active mind, so I'm prone to maybe have some sleeping issues, but I had a lot bigger issue than a sleeping issue. I had a drinking issue. And if you're drinking every day and it's, the way you soothe yourself after work or even during work or the way you feel better about yourself, it's not a good thing. Oh, is that good? Cheryl doesn't miss hangovers either. Congratulations, Cheryl. And Sherry, congratulations to you. Yeah. Somebody said sleeping pills are great. Hey, thank you so much for following the live creator. I don't think sleeping pills are great. Of any sort. And I mean, again, we all do things. Even exercise is kind of a way to deal with stress or deal with issues or cover them up even a little bit. And maybe you could say coffee's an issue too, but I think sleeping pills I think you're not solving the issue at hand. The mental unrest, or the physical lack of well-being. A lot of times there's physical reasons you can't sleep. Yeah. Reagan Greenwood followed the live creator. Well, thank you so much, Reagan Greenwood. I really appreciate that. I've been going live on TikTok for quite a while. And my platform grows a little bit every day. I think I hit 11,900 followers on TikTok. Tell you what, it's been a while since I've had a super viral video over here. It's fun when you do. I had a video I don't know, on this platform, maybe get seen a million times. It's exciting when you do, and you're picking up followers left and right. Ooh, another couple hundred followers today. But even when you're picking up a couple hundred followers, the difference between 11,900 and 12,100 isn't really that edge of your seat exciting. Again, in so many ways, a watch pot never boils. And so to see progress takes a long time, and no matter what you're doing. But if you want to experience progress, it can happen in, like that. And I think to experience progress, all you have to do is make the decision that you are going to change. And you are going to the gym today. And yes, you going to the gym today won't give you big biceps or a six-pack abs or whatever. But you've taken the step in the right direction, or that you are not going to drink alcohol today. You don't have to be 10 years sober to be cool. You're cool. I mean, you're probably cool either way, but you're cool the minute you decided to take the step in the right direction. You don't have to have $10 million in the bank to be on the path to financial freedom. You can do it right now. And you can do it with a small step. Yeah. Frozen Lander says, one day I'll be able to start my own Coffee with Ken podcast or something. I appreciate your optimism. I think I have started my Coffee with Ken podcast or something. I think we're watching it right now. I think I'm doing it right now. I'll tell you what, let me grab some coffee. I got two thoughts I wanted to share. Ant185, follow the live creator. Thank you so much, Ant. Somebody's asking me a presidential question. I have thoughts on that I'd like to share, but without getting into who I will vote for. But hold on, let me get my coffee. I got a few things I want to talk about. You guys can go get some coffee too. I think the human mind, and it's funny doing this show because I learn a lot about myself and a lot about people, because I get a lot of people, hello, travel buddies, hopping on, saying things and what have you. But I learn a lot about myself by doing it and talking through it. It's like I kind of go to therapy for an hour every day. Oh, yeah, it's the Pumpkin Spice Travel Buddies. So doing my show is almost like I get to sit down with a therapist for an hour each day. Except it's free. As a matter of fact, you guys, by watching my ads on various social media platforms, are actually paying me. Hold on, I got to stop here and give a shout out. There's something on the social media platform YouTube that's like a special thanks you can send. And somebody sent me a super thanks. And it was worth like $35 yesterday. I was like, whoa. I don't even know how they did it or where it came from, but I do know I like it. So I want to give a super you're welcome back to that person. But anyway, I think the human mind is pre-programmed for a couple different things. And first of all, it's programmed to worry. And I think for me, and I've struggled with anxiety and fear and worry most of my life, and I'm working through it doing my Coffee with Ken show. And am learning that worry and fear and anxiety doesn't really accomplish a whole heck of a lot. Usually what you worry about or you're afraid of doesn't really come to fruition, or things work out okay. No matter how much you stress about them in advance, you get through them and the next day happens. So I think a lot of us worry over things. And I think even well-intended people put their worry upon us. And for instance, I rode my scooter across the country and rode it to Yellowstone. I can't tell you how many people were worried about that trip for me and told me, oh, I shouldn't go. But I really wanted to do it. I'm really happy I did, and I was okay any risks that are inherent to doing such a thing. So I'm glad I didn't get caught up in their worry or let them put their worry into me, because I already was worried enough by myself. But with the help of friends and faith, I made it there and worked and made it back and feel good about that. I think the other thing the human mind is pre-programmed for is that change is inherently good. Something different has to be better than what we're doing. And I bring that up because somebody mentioned that maybe if my audience keeps growing, someday I'm going to get a Coffee with Ken podcast. And I know their thought was well intended. But again, I think this is a podcast. I have an audience and I'm talking, and I do it every morning, and I drink coffee and I generate a little revenue, and I have an audience, and it grows every day. But I think people want me to do a podcast because it's different. And I don't even know how different it is. And what made me think of it the other day is I had a guy reach out and say how he loves my show. He wants to watch my show. What time do I go live? He'd watch it more if he knew. And then he went on and wrote like a whole book to me about things I should do differently. He wanted me to travel to national parks and tour national parks. And then he wanted me to interview a bunch of different people and do all these things. He had all these ideas for this show. But what he forgot is he reached out because he wanted to see my show. And he wanted to know what time my show was on. But then he wrote 2 pages of all these ideas for different ways I could do my show. And it makes me chuckle because it happens every day. It happens every day. Even though he was reaching out to watch my content the way it is, he didn't realize that. And he wanted me to go do some other show. And again, I think people's mind inherently wants to give advice or tell people to do something different or to change or to this or to that. And I just find it funny. Yeah, Armchair Golfer said, was he willing to pay for my budget? That's a different story. If Travel Channel saw my show and said, hey, Ken, we want to pay you $1 million a year and put you up in national parks, and you can tour the national parks and look at buffalo and talk about the buffalo you see, I would do it. I'd do it because that would be a thing. But I think so many people, and I know the advice is well intended. I know he wasn't trying to be mean or saying my show sucks, but I don't think people realize it often enough. Because I have every day people saying, hey, I love your show. You should go do a podcast. And I just think it's so funny because then I would have to go somewhere, do a podcast and say, hey, person telling me to go do a podcast, come with me over here and listen to me over here. Although you were already listening to me, you want me to do a podcast and do it over there so we can go over there and listen to it over there, when we're already doing it here. Do I think generational trauma is a problem with the worry and anxiety? I don't really know what that means, RJ. Generational trauma, it might be more than generational. It might be the way we're all wired. It might be go back to caveman days when we were worried about heat and getting eaten by saber-toothed tigers or stepped on by a mammoth, when just our mere survival uh, really did depend on what was going on a day-by-day basis. But I do think the different is better thing is strange, and maybe that's tied into the worry. Uh, Because yeah, I do this show every day, and I like it, and I'm happy with my life, and I mean my life's far from perfect, but honestly, I'm probably the happiest guy I know. Yet people hop on all the time saying, "Oh, you should do this. You should go do this. You should change what you're doing." Maybe, or maybe I should just keep doing it and keep kicking ass. Mm. Woo-hoo-hoo! That pumpkin spice is good. That pumpkin spice is good. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. That's a Ben Franklin quote. I tell you what, Ben Franklin. Again, I watch a lot of documentaries, but he was. Uh, I mean, I guess we all know him, so I mean, I guess he gets pretty much a lot of acclaim. But even as a scientist, he was world renowned and was world known back in the 1700s. It's not just, he discovered and did a lot of huge, huge things. Uh, and maybe not enough, I mean, maybe enough said about him. But as far as a founding father and diplomat and politician and scientist, uh, he really had a major impact on the world. Rick asks, if I could go back in time, who would I like to talk to? Well, I mean, Ben Franklin would be pretty interesting. you know, I think taking a trip to France in the 1700s when he was trying to have France help us in the Revolutionary War might have been an interesting time, hanging out in Louis the 16th's court, playing chess with all these French babes with super tall hair. Sounded like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It almost sounds like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Did they grab? They might have grabbed Ben Franklin in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Have I ever been to France? No, I have not. No, I've not. And I often said I wanted to. I've only, as far as Europe, I've only been to Britain several times, and I thought that was beautiful. I thought Britain was beautiful, and then I kind of figured I'd want to go to France. I thought a wife or a girlfriend and I would have a nice time hanging out in Paris. I've heard less than flattering things about Paris, though, and I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard less than flattering things about Paris, like graffiti and dirty and things like that. And that kind of would disappoint me. I like to picture the City of Lights and the Eiffel Tower and me hanging out on a nice day on a speaking French. Oui, oui. Would I like more coffee? Oui, oui. That's all I'd say. Oui, oui. Parlez-vous français? I don't know French at all. I'm pretty good at Spanish. French Riviera is better than Paris. Well, I bet it would. Italy is the best, though. Never been there. I bet it's gorgeous. I would like to go to Italy. I'm not dying to travel. I think you can experience. Again, that's kind of ties to what different is better. I think you can experience life every day where you're at. But I think we feel the need to go somewhere else because somewhere else has got to be better than where we're at. And I honestly think that's behind most of the tourist industries. And I think it's a worthwhile pursuit going to see Venice or Rome or Greece or the castles in Scotland. I think it's all experiences. But I think if we open our eyes to the experiences that are right in front of us every day, really pay attention to the way the coffee feels or the sunrise looks or the quality of sleep we got. If we are more present and more awake in the now, the now's pretty good. Uh, with the financial situation I'm in, you're not making it to France anytime soon, said Darwin. Hmm. Time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, I don't know that again, I don't know if France would be first on my list. Financial situation, regardless. And one might be surprised how quickly a situation can turn. One might be surprised how long it takes. Again, time will tell. Mm. What time is it? Oh, wow, it's 5:45. Been talking for 45 minutes already. Feels good. Feels good. I had a nice shift last night or yesterday. That I'm working again tonight. That I've already done most of my coffee with Ken show for the morning, which is a key step in the path for me. And feels good. Mowing God said, "What do I think about retirees having to work today?" Well, I'm 56, and I talked about this the other day. I've got a lot of thoughts about that. I think if you're doing what you love, I don't know why you'd want to retire. And I think the jobs that we used to have in America and probably around the world were working in a factory or working in a coal mine or baling hay on a farm. And while though they were all very important and productive jobs, I think they were hard. And the world was hard. And I think now, due to technology or whatever, the world's not as hard as it used to be. And I think we could, I think we can pursue our passions and our interests in ways that we couldn't 100 years ago. When my grandpa was the son of a farmer and he was 14 years old and he was expected to help out with the family farm and milk the cows. And, my other grandpa lived in Scotland and was a coal miner. And I think probably followed in his father's footsteps and had to help the family put food on the table. And I think due to various things, the world's changed a little bit and we can find something we're passionate about and that we can do later in life. And I was a realtor for a bunch of years. I never thought I'd retire from real estate. I thought I'd be helping my friends as they aged move into senior living facilities or buying ranch homes or downsizing. Real estate wasn't my passion, so I left that a couple of years ago. I'm currently waiting tables. I don't plan to do that forever, but I don't think I'll ever stop doing Coffee with Ken. And I think Coffee with Ken is going to be my primary revenue source going forward. I'm sure that it is. And plan to be doing that, 30 years from now, God willing. Yeah. Bo Vinyl says, if you love your work, work isn't so bad. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy waiting tables even. I mean, it's work, but it's fun, and I get to talk to people and make them smile, and give them great service, or try at least to give them great service. So I enjoy that, but I love this. Uh, Frozen Land said his grandpa loved his job so much that he retired at 72, only due to him physically not able to do it. Yeah, I think a lot of jobs back in the day were more physical. I'm sure people still do physical jobs. I mean, waiting tables is fairly physical. Uh, but I think age gets us at some point where you can't be mining coal at 80 years old. Because it's a little physical, but I mean, maybe it can. Maybe age is just a number. I mean, I tell you what, I'm 56. When I was a kid, I thought 56 was an old man. And I'd be bald and hunched over. I was right about the bald, but I'm not too hunched over. Debbie and Bovino follow the live creator. Thank you guys so much. I so appreciate that. I really do. I'm creeping towards 12,000 followers. I remember when I hit 1,000 followers here on TikTok, and I thought I'd be at like 10,000 in a month. It was over 2 years ago. Slowly but surely, the tortoise wins the race. My doctor told me to slow down on the physical part. Well, yeah, mowing Goddard, change. Certainly, I used to run marathons. My days of running marathons is probably over, but again, I still work out 2 or 3 times a week. I talk about it before. My dad goes to a gym, and he's coming up on 84, and I couldn't be prouder of him for going to a gym at 84 and working on himself at 84, and trying to get a little better every day. Rick says he works for Disney. Great company. There are no plans to retire. He's 63. Way to go, Rick. RJ asked, would I ever walk a marathon? I mean, no. I mean, am I going somewhere? Do I have 26 miles? And am I out of gas? I have no desire to get to a starting line and walk a marathon. Dennis says he's 72 and he thought that was old. But Dennis, I bet you still feel not too much different than you did. Maybe, I'm sure you have aches and pains and what have you. But I bet the mind is still, you feel like a kid. You feel like a kid. One day you wake up and you're 56 or 72 or 63. And you remember back to the days when you were 10 and you thought life was an eternity. Like all of time was ahead of you. And I think as time passes, you realize it passes quicker, more quickly and quicker and quicker, or whatever the word is. And I don't know, because of that, I think it's almost a positive. Again, I think what kicked off Coffee with Ken was realizing I was 50 years old and I didn't like the way I talked to myself, and I thought I could do better, and I didn't like waking up hungover all the time, and probably didn't even know it. I wasn't happy in my relationships or my career, and thought I could do more, and decided to. And I don't know, knowing that I wasn't going to be around forever and wanting to see how I could finish out the game of life. Is my family involved with helping me get Coffee with Ken to 50,000 followers? I don't know their level of involvement. I know they watch my content from time to time. I know my brother called last night and talked to me about a sobriety video I did and how he wanted to share it with his friend who's struggling in some things. And, again, I don't People ask me, like, people hop on and say, "Oh, you should go to the the Labor Day parade and hand out Coffee with Ken brochures." And I used to think Coffee with Ken was a word of mouth thing. But I don't think it is so much. I think the key to really growing is, producing more content. And I got 40 people or so watching right now. And, I don't know. It seems to spread most quickly this way. Do I feel famous yet? I don't think fame is anything I have any great desire for. I think it would be horrible to be somebody super famous and not be able to go out to a restaurant and have dinner with your friends or your family without having tons of people come up to you. I do not envy movie stars or sports like Michael Jordan at all. I think that'd be horrible. You couldn't, the simplest things in life, like walking through your town, would become a problem. And I don't envy, I don't have any great desire for fame. It'd be nice to have a couple more dollars in my bank. Fame isn't something I chase or pursue. Let's have a little more coffee. Tempted to get a splash more. I usually talk for about an hour. Started being a little more consistent on my time. I guess it was easier to be more consistent when I stopped waiting tables in Yellowstone. Because in Yellowstone, I've been going live. I think I've only missed one live show in, I don't know, maybe 4 months or so. But in Yellowstone, I would often work the breakfast shift as a waiter. And we had to start at 6:15 in the morning. And let me tell you, I honestly consider it a pretty darn good accomplishment that I went live every day before the breakfast shift. Sometimes the show was 10 minutes. But it wasn't that easy waking up extra early to do a coffee talk show to some people. And know I was going to wait tables after that. All right. Which was tougher, divorce or career change? Hold on, Teddy Kizzy. You got some good questions. Which was tougher? Which was tougher? By far, divorce. Teddy Kizzy asked, which was tougher, divorce or career change? By far, divorce. Divorce was mentally crushing, spiritually crushing, emotionally crushing, and financially crushing. And maybe to some people, it's a walk in a park. But for me, it was really, really hard twice. Twice. Really, really hard twice. And I felt I was, I don't regret either looking back. But surviving them itself was a challenge, and conflict was a challenge, and being taken away from your kids on a daily basis was a challenge, and dealing with attorneys was a challenge, and paying the attorneys was a challenge. Divorce was by far the hardest thing I've ever been through, and I went through it twice. Career change is exciting almost. It's not easy. I was a realtor. I did fairly okay. And a year and change ago, I was working at Target and making $15 an hour. I mean, it wasn't pretty. But it wasn't as completely crushing as divorce was for me. Again, the career change is kind of exciting. I look forward to moving forward today on my content creation side of my career, but even waiting tables tonight. I'm going to go in, I'm going to have a good attitude, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to generate some revenue. And that feels good. That feels good. Ryan asks, how was the work shift yesterday? It was good. It was got in at 12, worked till 7:30 or 8. Was kind of a nice tempo most of the day, and steady but not crazy, and did fairly well and had happy customers. So it was a win-win-win. Mowing God said, still married for 35 years, but couldn't imagine doing it once. I don't. Which divorce was harder? Mine was the first. Ryan, both were very hard in different ways. The first one was surprising because I thought the first one was, I think I'd tied up so much of my identity into being a happily married man and a father of 2 beautiful children. And it was who I was in my mind. I was this guy. And waking up no longer married or separated and not having my 2 older, who are the older girls now, in the home was a shock to the system that I didn't foresee happening. So in that way, my first divorce, I guess, was harder. My second one was pretty painful, I'll tell you. But yeah, no, it's a shock to the system, and you think things are going to be a certain way, and then all of a sudden they're not that way. And if you tie up your value into to other people or to a career or to even something super important like being a happily married father of 2 beautiful girls, if that is your identity in your heart, I think you're at risk, because for me, that was my identity, and that's who I thought I was. And then one day I wasn't that. And I was going, holy crud, what am I? Who am I? That's when you do some serious soul searching. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. That is so good. So it's just after 6. It's Monday morning. There's something special about Monday mornings. Sky is just lightening in the window behind me. Again, it's Monday morning. Start of a new week. Start of a new day. So many opportunities out there for us. What are we going to do with the opportunities that are in front of us? We don't have to know right now, but I hope we're prepared for them when they come across our path. And I hope we face the day with open eyes and a big, generous smile and I don't know, optimism. Yeah. Did I give up drinking before my first divorce? No. No. I gave up drinking before my second divorce. The last time I had a drink was October 28th, 2021. And I know the date, but I don't know. I don't think it's that important to count the days. Sorry, anybody out there. I think as long as you're moving down the right path, and even if I would have drank last night and I had no temptation, but I think people put so much emphasis on the streak or the number of days or whatever. And I say 3 years, so I made 2. But I think what's important is saying, hey, I'm better without alcohol. Whether I drank last night or not, today's a new day, and I'm better without alcohol today. It doesn't matter how many days or your streak. I mean, maybe it's a point of pride. Maybe for me it's a point of pride, and maybe it is. Maybe it's worthwhile pride. But I'm telling you, you can make the change today. You know, you say you're not going to drink today, and you're already off and running. And you can be proud about that. You know, you don't need to wait till you're, I don't know, a month sober or a week sober. You know, you can do it today. How was my understanding of myself evolved through my journey of sobriety? Wow, has it? Not a deep question. Wow. Glad I got some more coffee. Uh, well, I think it faces you to look in the mirror. I think not drinking or smoking causes you to look in the mirror with a little more honesty and go, huh. Again, 3 or 5 years ago when I started doing coffee with Ken, I caught myself and the inner voice was viciously saying horrible things to me. And I think I would walk through my day with a vicious inner voice. And the way I would deal with that would be to drink, to numb the inner voice or to quiet the inner voice. And that only numbed it or pacified it for a little bit. But then I'd wake up at 2 in the morning and the voice was yelling louder than ever at me. And I think by stopping drinking, you're forced to look at your life and look at your self-image and look at where you are with a little more honesty and not just get through the day and know at 5 o'clock when your work is over that you get to go home and crack that first beer. Because I hope, you got more to look forward to in life than cracking that first beer. Yeah. Do I think working class retirees should be able to live on Social Security alone? I don't know. I have no great thoughts. I don't have a full understanding of the Social Security system. I think that was what was sold to us by those that the government, I guess, that put together Social Security. I think that was the plan. But it might not work out that way because a lot of things government does is fraught with over expenditure and over stuff and bad stuff. When can I draw on Social Security? I don't know. Mowing Dad says, I learned at a very teenage year not to run from your problems, but turn around and face head on. Yeah, and I think that's what sobriety forces you to do. You don't know because you're not physically running from it. You're not moving when you go to a bar or you open up some beer. But I think in a lot of ways you are running from your issues. Oh. Well, I'm having so much fun. Wonder why the world seems so different when you wake up at 2 a.m. Well, I think the biggest issue is you can't do anything about it at 2 a.m. You can't get up and start your day and you can, but you can't go to work or go to the gym or eat your breakfast or go in the shower. I mean, yes, you can do all those things, but most people don't and want to drip back off to sleep. So you are fighting being awake and you're trying to get back to sleep. And sometimes that's a not productive endeavor. And maybe you'd be better off getting out of bed and doing whatever it is you do. Maybe going to the gym or maybe doing some work. If you work from home, opening up the laptop and getting to work and, I don't know, facing whatever it is you're afraid of, or for me, editing a video or what have you. Have I ever gone on a scooter ride on a late night or not been able to sleep? I do not think I've ever hopped on my scooter in the middle of the night and gone for a ride. I've certainly gone for drives at that time. But it was almost in total terror, like I wanted to get away from my bed because I was afraid of my bed or afraid of my home. And I've definitely gone for a drive and been terrified and not even known where I was going, but feeling like I had to go somewhere. And that's not a good feeling. So much better when you wake up and you cuddle up under your blankies. You are welcome, Sean. But you wake up under your blankies and you turn over. For me, I'm 56. I usually have to go to the bathroom and go pee, but then get back under the blankies and turn over and maybe listen to some melodic music or some positive affirmations or some sort of audio that helps me drift off to sleep. Yeah. Drift off to sleep. No, if I wake up, I have to get up or I won't get up. I don't know. Seth Messersmith joined. Well, thank you, Seth. Seth, that's kind of hard to say. Seth Messersmith. It's a mouthful. Speaking of a mouthful, let's have another mouthful of coffee. Oh, hey, Bama Girl, thank you so much for following the Live Creator. We picked up some people today. Lisa Smith wants to know what was the message at church yesterday. I did not go to church yesterday. I worked at noon and didn't go to church. I could have caught the 9 o'clock service, but I chose not to. So, yeah, I appreciate you hopping on, Lisa, and checking in. Didn't go to church yesterday. But let's have one more sip of coffee. It is 6:10, a little after 6 o'clock on a Monday morning. And I'm excited about my day. And I feel great about the weekend I had. I'm looking forward to my week ahead. And I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I hope you had a great night's sleep. And I hope you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you. And if you're stressed out or worried or fretting over things, think of a couple things you're grateful for. And I promise you'll be feeling a little bit better. Yeah, so want to thank you so much for joining me on this Monday morning. I appreciate you. For anybody that followed me on this platform here on TikTok or any other social media platform, I appreciate you. I have a lot of fun doing this, and my audience kind of grows every day. So that's a lot of fun. And yeah, just want to thank you for joining. I hope you, again, had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.